Hello everyone, welcome to VinAm Guidance. This is Dr. Anuja Sharma, and in this video we'll discuss some important questions from chromatography. So let's get started. So let's look at our first question, which is a mixture of two proteins was subjected to following three chromatographic columns: A. Cation exchange, B. Size exclusion on Cephedex 100, and C. Reverse phase. Following elution profiles were obtained. Which of the following statements is correct? First, A is larger and more hydrophobic than B. 2. B is more anionic and more hydrophobic than A. 3. A is more hydrophobic and smaller than B. 4. A is more cationic and smaller than. So first let's see what we can conclude from these three graphs, how we can interpret these three graphs, and then we'll look at our options. So the first graph is from cation exchange chromatography. Now since it is cation exchange chromatography, you're going to use a cation exchanger. So the resin is going to be negatively charged, which means that your protein of interest, your molecule of interest should be positively charged. Okay. Now during elution, when you increase the concentration of NaCl, since it is cation exchange chromatography, the molecules, the biomolecules, they're going to be separated in the increasing order of their positive charge, which means that B has more positive charge than A. Okay, which means that B is more anionic than A. So you can, from this graph, you can conclude that A is less anionic than B, or A has less positive charge as compared to B. So from our first graph, we can conclude, a first conclusion is that A is less anionic, or it has less positive charge. Okay, now let's look at the second graph. The second graph is of size exclusion chromatography. Now during size exclusion chromatography, the biomolecules are separated in the decreasing order of their size. So from second graph, we can conclude that B is larger in size than A. Okay, so from first graph we have A is less anionic than B, or B is more anionic than A, and from second graph we have that B is larger in size than A, or A is smaller in molecular size than B. Now let's look at the third graph. Now third graph is of reverse phase chromatography. Now since it's reverse phase, your stationary phase is non-polar. Now since your stationary phase is non-polar, the separation or purification in case of reverse phase chromatography is going to be in the decreasing order of polarity. So the polar molecules will be separated first, followed by the non-polar molecules. Or you can say that the separation is going to be in the increasing order of hydrophobicity. Okay. So either you can say that the separation is going to be in the decreasing order of polarity or in the increasing order of hydrophobicity. So from third graph, we can conclude that A is more hydrophobic than B. So we have three conclusions from these graphs. First is that A is less anionic than B. Second is B is larger than A. And third is A is more hydrophobic than B. Now let's look at our options. The first one is A is larger and more hydrophobic than B. Now this is incorrect because from second conclusion, it is clear that B is larger than A. Now second option is B is more anionic and hydrophobic than A. Now this is also incorrect as A is more hydrophobic than B. Okay. Now let's look at the third option, which says that A is more hydrophobic and smaller than B. Now A is more hydrophobic than B from third conclusion, and A is smaller than B from second conclusion, which says B is larger than A. So the answer to this question is option 3, which is A is more hydrophobic and smaller than B. Now let's look at our next question, which is alpha bungarotoxin binds to acetylcholine receptor protein with high specificity and prevents the ion channel opening. This interaction can be exploited to purify acetylcholine receptor protein from membrane using First, ion exchange chromatography. Second, gel filtration chromatography. 3, affinity chromatography. And 4, density gradient centrifugation. Now this question clearly states that an interaction, a specific interaction between two biomolecules has to be exploited for the purification of one of the biomolecules. Now the first option, which is ion exchange chromatography, in case of ion exchange chromatography, the separation is based on the ion exchange. That means it is based on the overall charge of the biomolecule of the protein. In case of gel filtration chromatography, the separation is on the basis of the size of the biomolecules. Now third option, which is the affinity chromatography, in affinity chromatography, the separation is on the basis of specific interaction between the biomolecule and the ligand which is present on your resin. For example, antigen-antibody interaction, hormone receptor interaction, enzyme substrate reaction. As in this question, a similar kind of interaction has to be exploited for the separation of acetylcholine receptor. So affinity chromatography will be used to purify acetylcholine receptor from membrane. So third is the answer to this question. Now let's look at our next question. You want to purify a recombinant protein of interest. You can use affinity chromatography to purify as you have nickel columns available in laboratory. With what molecule will you tag the protein to purify using those columns? First GST, 2 histidine, 3 histamine and 4 proline. Now as I just told you, in case of affinity chromatography, specific interactions between the biomolecule and the ligand present on your resin is exploited. Now in this case, it's the purification of a recombinant protein. Now recombinant proteins are usually engineered to include a specific peptide or protein sequence which is known as the tag. And these tags can be of different types like polyhistidine tag, glutathione S transferase GST tag, or maltose binding protein MBP tag. Now since in this case we're using a nickel column, so the resin is immobilized with nickel ions. So in this case, you will be using a tag of polyhistidine, as polyhistidine binds strongly and with great selectivity to divalent metal ions such as nickel and cobalt during affinity chromatography. So the second option is the answer to this question. Now let's move on to our next question, which is which of the following technique or combination of techniques can be used for the purification of monoclonal antibodies? First is size exclusion chromatography, second is ion exchange chromatography, third is affinity chromatography, and fourth is affinity chromatography and size exclusion chromatography. Now monoclonal antibodies are purified and separated from a crude mixture containing different kinds of biomolecules by using the specific interactions with different proteins and antigen. So a resin containing an immobilized ligand, for example protein A, protein G or protein L, or a specific purified antigen is used for the purification of monoclonal antibodies, which means that affinity chromatography is going to be used as the main step for the purification and separation of monoclonal antibodies. So you can eliminate the first two options, size exclusion chromatography and ion exchange chromatography. Now affinity chromatography itself gives a purity level of around 95%, but it is generally followed by another chromatography like size exclusion chromatography for a polishing step to isolate monomers from their aggregates. So your answer to this question is going to be fourth option, which is affinity chromatography and size exclusion chromatography. Let's move on to our next question. In reverse phase HPLC, there is a non-polar solvent and polar column, B polar solvent and non-polar column, C non-polar solvent and non-polar column, D polar solvent and polar column. Now HPLC can be of two types, normal phase HPLC and reverse phase HPLC. In normal phase HPLC, your stationary phase is polar, mobile phase is non-polar, and the separation is in the increasing order of polarity. As the stationary phase is polar, so the polar molecules are going to be bound to the polar stationary phase for a longer time. Now in reverse phase HPLC, it is exactly opposite. The stationary phase is non-polar, mobile phase is polar, and the separation is in the decreasing order of polarity. So the answer to this question, which is in reverse phase HPLC, there is a B polar solvent because the mobile phase is polar, and non-polar column as the stationary phase is non-polar in case of reverse phase HPLC. Now VinAm Guidance is also going to organize a quiz on fundamental processes. Now this quiz will include questions from replication, transcription, translation, regulation of gene expression, operon system, including lac operon, mutation in lac operon, TRP operon, ARA operon, and we'll share the link for the quiz soon on our YouTube channel, and I request you all to please attend this quiz as it will help you monitor your progress for these topics, and also it's free. So please attend this quiz and please stay tuned for more updates on the quiz and other events. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon for latest updates. Thank you.